You're sitting in a dark room, eyes closed, in perfect meditation. Now, consider this mind-bending reality. According to quantum physics, by simply opening your eyes, you might be fundamentally altering the fabric of the universe. This isn't mystical thinking. It's supported by one of the most famous experiments in quantum physics, the double-slit experiment. When scientists observe particles passing through two slits, the mere act of measurement changes how these particles behave, transforming from waves of probability into definite particles. This phenomenon raises a profound question that has haunted physicists for nearly a century. What role does consciousness play in shaping physical reality? The implications of this question reach far beyond laboratory walls. Consider that right now, trillions of quantum events are occurring in your brain. Each of your thoughts, each moment of awareness, might be intimately connected to quantum processes that defy our classical understanding of reality. This brings us to a revolutionary possibility. Consciousness might not be just a byproduct of brain activity, but a fundamental force in the universe, as essential as gravity or electromagnetism. The mystery deepens when we examine the mathematics behind quantum mechanics. The Schrödinger equation, which describes how quantum systems evolve, presents us with a paradox. According to this equation, physical systems exist in multiple states simultaneously, a phenomenon called superposition. Yet, whenever we make a measurement, we only observe one definite outcome. This transition from many possibilities to one reality is known as the collapse of the wave function, and here's where things get truly fascinating. No one can explain exactly what causes this collapse. This is where consciousness enters the picture in a profound way. The von Neumann-Wigner interpretation of quantum mechanics, proposed by two mathematical giants of the 20th century, suggests something remarkable. Conscious observation itself might be responsible for collapsing the wave function. This isn't just philosophical speculation. It's a mathematical possibility that emerges from the equations themselves. Let's explore what this means in practical terms. When you're meditating, your brain enters distinct states that can be measured by EEG machines. These states show patterns of coherence that some scientists like Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose believe might be quantum in nature. Their theory, called orchestrated objective reduction, suggests that consciousness arises from quantum computations in microscopic structures within brain cells called microtubules. These quantum processes might not just be happening in your brain. They could be connecting you to what physicists call the quantum field, a fundamental layer of reality that permeates all space and time. This connection becomes even more intriguing when we consider quantum entanglement, what Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. When particles become entangled, they remain connected regardless of the distance between them. Changes to one particle instantaneously affect the other, seemingly violating the speed of light. Some researchers propose that consciousness might operate through similar mechanisms, creating a kind of quantum network that connects all conscious beings at a fundamental level. Recent experiments have begun to lend credence to these ideas. Scientists have discovered quantum coherence in biological systems, from the photosynthesis in plants to the navigation systems of birds. These findings suggest that nature has found ways to harness quantum effects at a scale much larger than previously thought possible. If quantum processes can occur in warm, wet biological systems, why not in the complex neural networks of our brains? The implications of these discoveries are staggering. If consciousness indeed plays a fundamental role in quantum mechanics, then every conscious moment might be literally shaping the fabric of reality. Your thoughts, your awareness, your very presence as an observer might be participating in the continuous creation of the universe. This isn't just philosophy. It's a possibility emerging from our best physical theories. As we delve deeper into this journey of discovery, we'll explore how these quantum principles might explain phenomena that have long puzzled scientists. The nature of free will, the emergence of consciousness, and even the possibility of a unified field of awareness that ancient spiritual traditions have long described. The convergence of quantum physics and consciousness research is opening new frontiers in our understanding of reality, suggesting that the deepest mysteries of the universe might be intimately connected to the depths of our own awareness. Let's venture into one of the most fascinating frontiers of science: how quantum mechanics manifests in the living world. For decades, scientists believed quantum effects could only occur in isolated systems at temperatures near absolute zero. But nature, it turns out, had other plans. Recent discoveries have revealed that quantum processes don't just exist in the cold vacuum of space or carefully controlled laboratory conditions. They're happening right now, in every cell of your body. Consider photosynthesis, the process by which plants convert sunlight into chemical energy. When a photon of light hits a leaf, it creates what scientists call an exciton, a quantum particle of energy that needs to find its way to the plant's reaction center. Classical physics would predict that this particle would randomly bounce around like a pinball, eventually finding its destination through trial and error. But that's not what happens. Instead, the exciton appears to take multiple paths simultaneously, using quantum coherence to find the most efficient route with near-perfect accuracy. This quantum wave-like behavior in warm, wet, chaotic biological systems challenged everything we thought we knew about quantum mechanics. But plants aren't the only living things exploiting quantum effects. Birds navigate using Earth's magnetic field through a process that appears to rely on quantum entanglement in their retinas. When light hits special proteins called cryptochromes, it creates a pair of entangled electrons. The way these electrons interact with Earth's magnetic field gives birds an internal compass that might literally let them see magnetic field lines. This discovery was revolutionary. It showed that biological systems could maintain quantum coherence long enough to perform crucial functions. This brings us to the most complex biological system we know, the human brain. Inside each of your brain cells are tiny structures called microtubules, which form a kind of cellular skeleton. These microtubules are made of proteins called tubulins that can exist in different conformational states. According to the Penrose-Hameroff theory of quantum consciousness, these tubulin proteins might engage in large-scale quantum computations. The theory suggests that in each microtubule, thousands of tubulin proteins enter quantum superposition, existing in multiple states simultaneously, until they undergo what Penrose calls objective reduction, collapsing into definite states and producing moments of conscious experience. The mathematics behind this theory is complex but beautiful. Penrose argues that when a quantum system becomes large enough, it creates significant distortions in spacetime itself. These distortions eventually reach a critical threshold where they must collapse, following principles of quantum gravity. What's remarkable is that when you calculate how long it would take for microtubules to reach this threshold, you get numbers that match the timing of neural firing patterns associated with conscious experiences, about 40 times per second. Critics initially argued that the brain was too warm, wet, and noisy to maintain quantum coherence. But recent experiments have shown quantum effects persisting in biological systems much longer than previously thought possible. Scientists have discovered that proteins can protect quantum states through a phenomenon called quantum beating, where the surrounding environment actually helps maintain quantum coherence rather than destroying it. This is similar to how a child on a swing can maintain their motion through periodic pushes. Even more intriguing is the discovery of quantum tunneling in enzymes, the proteins that catalyze chemical reactions in your cells. Quantum tunneling occurs when a particle passes through a barrier it classically shouldn't be able to cross, like a ghost walking through a wall. Enzymes appear to use this quantum effect to drastically speed up chemical reactions, making life as we know it possible. This suggests that evolution has not only adapted to quantum mechanics but has actively harnessed it. These discoveries are leading to a new understanding of biology where quantum effects aren't just occasional oddities but essential features of life itself. If quantum processes play such crucial roles in basic biological functions, it becomes more plausible that they could be involved in generating consciousness. Some scientists now propose that your brain might be better understood as a quantum computer than a classical one, potentially explaining phenomena that classical neuroscience struggles with, like the binding problem, how different aspects of perception are unified into a single conscious experience. This quantum perspective on biology also offers new ways to understand meditation and altered states of consciousness. If consciousness involves quantum processes in microtubules, meditation might work by influencing these quantum states, creating more coherent patterns of quantum collapse. This could explain why meditation affects consciousness in such profound and measurable ways. If quantum effects shape biological systems, as we've explored, could they also connect consciousness across a much grander scale? This question brings us to one of the most profound intersections of quantum physics and consciousness, the possibility of a quantum field that underlies all of conscious experience. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might sound when we examine the mathematics of quantum field theory. In quantum field theory, particles aren't separate, discrete objects but excitations in underlying fields that permeate all of space and time. Just as waves on the ocean aren't separate from the ocean itself, particles emerge from and remain connected to these fundamental fields. This leads to a startling implication. At the deepest level, everything in the universe is interconnected through these quantum fields. The physicist David Bohm called this the implicate order, a hidden, unified reality from which our apparently separate, classical world emerges. This interconnection becomes particularly evident when we consider quantum entanglement at a deeper level. When particles become entangled, they don't just influence each other instantly across space. In a very real sense, they become the same thing. Their quantum states can't be described separately, even if the particles are light years apart. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, but modern physics suggests it's more accurate to say there is no distance at the quantum level. The physicist Henry Stapp has proposed that this non-locality of quantum mechanics might be fundamental to consciousness itself. Think about your conscious experience right now. You're aware of many different sensations, thoughts, and perceptions simultaneously, yet they form a unified whole. This unity of consciousness has puzzled philosophers and scientists for centuries. How does our brain bind together different neural processes into one seamless experience? The quantum field perspective offers an intriguing answer. Perhaps consciousness, like quantum fields, is fundamentally unified. Your individual consciousness might be more like a localized excitation in a universal field of consciousness, just as particles are excitations in quantum fields. This idea gains support from recent developments in quantum gravity theories, particularly the holographic principle. This principle suggests that all the information in a volume of space can be described by information on its boundary, like a hologram. Some physicists, including Juan Meldacena, have shown mathematically how this might work. If consciousness is indeed connected to quantum processes in the brain, the holographic principle suggests these processes might be connected to a larger, universal pattern of information that exists at the fundamental level of spacetime itself. The implications become even more fascinating when we consider the role of the observer in quantum mechanics. The conventional Copenhagen interpretation states that consciousness somehow causes the collapse of the wave function, converting quantum possibilities into definite realities. But if consciousness is itself a quantum phenomenon connected to a universal field, we might need to reverse this picture. Perhaps the apparent collapse of the wave function is actually the moment when individual consciousness becomes aware of itself as part of the larger quantum reality. This would align with what many meditation traditions have claimed for millennia, that individual consciousness is a manifestation of a deeper, universal consciousness. Recent experimental evidence provides tantalizing hints supporting this perspective. The Global Consciousness Project, run by researchers at Princeton University, has found small but significant correlations in random number generators during major global events that capture human attention. While controversial, these results suggest the possibility that collective human consciousness might influence quantum processes on a global scale. Similarly, experiments studying skilled meditators have shown unusual coherence patterns in their brain activity that some researchers interpret as evidence of interaction with quantum fields. The unity of quantum fields also offers a new way to understand spiritual experiences reported across cultures and throughout history. Many mystics and meditators describe experiencing a fundamental oneness with the universe, a dissolution of the boundary between self and other. From a quantum field perspective, this might not be just a subjective experience but an insight into the actual nature of reality. Just as particles maintain their quantum connections across space and time, consciousness might maintain subtle connections that become apparent in deep meditative states. This view has profound implications for understanding human potential and the nature of reality itself. If consciousness is indeed connected to quantum fields, then practices like meditation might be ways of aligning our individual consciousness more closely with these fundamental fields. The distinctions we typically make between mind and matter, subject and object, individual and universal, might be artifacts of our limited perspective rather than fundamental truths. The profound insights from quantum physics and consciousness studies raise an exciting question. How can we test and apply these theories in ways that advance both science and human potential? Let's explore the cutting-edge research and practical applications that are emerging from this intersection. Scientists are developing increasingly sophisticated ways to measure quantum effects in biological systems. One groundbreaking approach uses ultrasensitive magnetometers to detect quantum coherence in brain tissue. These devices can measure magnetic fields billions of times weaker than Earth's magnetic field, allowing researchers to observe quantum effects that were previously invisible. For example, Matthew Fisher at UC Santa Barbara is investigating whether phosphorus atoms in brain molecules can maintain quantum entanglement long enough to influence neural processing. The study of meditation has become a particularly fertile ground for testing quantum theories of consciousness. Advanced meditators show patterns of neural synchronization that classical physics struggles to explain. When large groups of neurons fire in perfect synchrony, they create what neuroscientists call quantum coherent oscillations. These oscillations appear to behave more like unified quantum systems than classical neural networks. Researchers are now using EEG and fMRI scanning while controlling for electromagnetic interference to isolate these quantum signatures. What makes this research especially fascinating is how it bridges ancient wisdom with modern physics. Many meditation traditions speak of accessing a field of pure consciousness, what some call the quantum vacuum or zero-point field in physics terms. Scientists are now developing protocols to test whether deep meditation can actually influence quantum random number generators or create measurable changes in quantum coherence patterns. One study at the HeartMath Institute found that participants could affect quantum processes through focused intention, though these results need further verification. The practical applications extend beyond basic research. Quantum biology is inspiring new approaches to healing and consciousness expansion. For instance, some researchers are exploring how quantum coherence in microtubules might be enhanced through specific frequencies of sound or light. This has led to the development of quantum therapies that attempt to optimize cellular coherence, though these remain experimental. More established applications include quantum biofeedback devices that help people learn to regulate their internal states through real-time monitoring of quantum-level biological processes. The implications for human potential are remarkable. If consciousness operates through quantum mechanisms, then practices like meditation might be doing more than just calming the mind. They could be actively organizing quantum coherence in the brain. This might explain why experienced meditators show enhanced abilities in areas like attention, emotional regulation, and even perception. Some researchers propose that with proper training, humans might learn to consciously influence quantum processes, leading to capabilities that would seem extraordinary by today's standards. However, we must maintain scientific rigor while exploring these possibilities. Many claims about quantum consciousness remain controversial, and some proposed applications venture into pseudoscience. The key is to distinguish testable hypotheses from speculation and to design experiments that can validate or refute specific aspects of quantum consciousness theories. For example, we can test whether quantum coherence in microtubules correlates with specific states of consciousness, or whether entanglement between neurons plays a role in memory formation. The future of this field looks incredibly promising. New technologies are making it possible to observe quantum effects in living systems with unprecedented precision. Artificial intelligence is helping analyze the vast amounts of data from quantum biology experiments. And cross-disciplinary collaboration between physicists, neuroscientists, and consciousness researchers is generating novel approaches to testing these theories. Perhaps most exciting is how this research might transform our understanding of human potential. If consciousness is indeed connected to fundamental quantum fields, then practices like meditation might be ways of aligning our individual awareness with these universal fields. This could explain reports throughout history of extraordinary human capabilities and suggests that such abilities might have a basis in quantum physics. Understanding how quantum physics relates to consciousness opens up fascinating possibilities for personal exploration and growth. Let me share some practical approaches you can use to explore these concepts experientially, building from simpler practices to more advanced ones. The foundation begins with developing quantum awareness in everyday life. Consider how the observer effect in quantum physics parallels your own experience. Your attention literally changes what you observe. Try this. For a few minutes each day, become intensely aware of your role as an observer. Notice how your attention shifts and shapes your experience. This isn't just metaphorical. If consciousness indeed operates at the quantum level, your observation is actually participating in the emergence of reality. Meditation becomes particularly powerful when approached through a quantum lens. Instead of thinking of meditation as just quieting thoughts, consider it as tuning into quantum coherence in your brain. Start with a simple practice. Sit quietly and imagine your consciousness as a quantum field rather than a localized phenomenon. Feel how your awareness extends beyond the boundaries of your body. This aligns with both quantum field theory and ancient wisdom about the nature of consciousness. You can deepen this practice by working with coherent states. Quantum coherence occurs when particles vibrate in synchrony, like musicians playing in perfect harmony. In your meditation, focus on creating internal coherence through rhythmic breathing and attention. Notice how different parts of your experience, thoughts, sensations, emotions, can align into a unified field of awareness. This mirrors how quantum systems achieve coherence through synchronized oscillations. The concept of quantum entanglement offers another powerful avenue for exploration. Science shows that once particles become entangled, they remain connected regardless of distance. You can experiment with this principle through relationship practices. When meeting someone, consciously establish a field of shared awareness. Notice how thoughts and feelings seem to flow between you without words. This isn't just psychological. You might be experiencing quantum-level connections in your neural systems. Advanced practitioners often report experiencing what physicists call non-locality, the sense that consciousness transcends space and time. You can explore this through specific meditation techniques. Start by focusing your attention on the present moment, then gradually expand your awareness to include larger spans of time and space. Notice how your consciousness can seem to access information beyond immediate sensory input. This matches quantum theories about consciousness accessing fundamental fields of information. Quantum physics reveals that reality exists in superposition, multiple states simultaneously, until observed. You can work with this principle by practicing what some traditions call quantum consciousness. Throughout your day, maintain awareness of multiple possibilities rather than fixing on single outcomes. Notice how this state of open awareness feels different from ordinary focused attention. You might experience enhanced creativity and insight as you access quantum-level information processing. The holographic principle in quantum physics suggests that all information about a system is encoded on its boundary. Apply this to your self-exploration by examining how your present state contains information about your entire being. During meditation, notice how single moments of awareness can unfold to reveal deeper layers of understanding. This isn't just introspection. You're exploring how consciousness operates as a holographic field. Remember that these practices require patience and consistent effort. Quantum effects in consciousness might be subtle at first, just as scientific instruments needed refinement to detect quantum phenomena. Keep a journal of your experiences, noting patterns and insights that emerge. Pay special attention to moments when your normal sense of separation seems to dissolve into a larger field of awareness. A particularly powerful practice combines intention with quantum field awareness. Set a clear intention while imagining it resonating through the quantum field of consciousness. Rather than forcing outcomes, allow your intention to influence probability fields, just as quantum waves influence particle behavior. Notice how opportunities and insights arise naturally when you work with rather than against quantum principles. As we conclude our exploration of quantum physics, consciousness, and their profound intersection, let's reflect on the transformative potential these insights offer. Understanding consciousness through the lens of quantum mechanics isn't just theoretical. It opens new pathways for personal growth and human potential. The journey of consciousness exploration becomes richer when we recognize that we're not just passive observers but active participants in the quantum nature of reality. Every moment of awareness, every conscious choice, may be engaging with fundamental quantum processes that connect us to the deeper fabric of the universe. This understanding bridges the ancient wisdom of meditation traditions with the cutting-edge discoveries of modern physics. Your consciousness, far from being isolated within your brain, appears to be part of a vast quantum network of interconnected awareness. The practices we've explored, from quantum awareness to coherent states meditation, offer practical ways to experience and work with this connection. These aren't just exercises. They're opportunities to align your individual consciousness with the quantum fields that underlie all of reality. The future of consciousness exploration looks incredibly promising. As science continues to unveil the quantum nature of biological systems and consciousness, we'll likely discover even more powerful ways to work with these principles. The convergence of quantum physics, neuroscience, and contemplative practices is creating a new paradigm for understanding human potential. Remember that your own exploration of consciousness contributes to this emerging understanding. Each insight you gain, each moment of expanded awareness, adds to our collective knowledge of how consciousness operates at the quantum level. You're not just learning about quantum consciousness, you're actively participating in its evolution. This journey of discovery continues beyond our discussion today. The principles and practices we've explored are seeds that can grow into profound personal realizations. Trust your experiences, stay curious, and remain open to the quantum nature of consciousness as it reveals itself through your own awareness. The universe, as quantum physics shows us, is far more mysterious, interconnected, and filled with potential than we once imagined. And consciousness, your consciousness, is intimately woven into its quantum fabric. This understanding isn't just intellectual. It's an invitation to explore the deepest mysteries of existence through the laboratory of your own awareness.